Hello, hello. How's it going? What's occurring? How's everyone doing? Thought I'd jump on a little bit earlier today. So I've actually had quite a day today in the 10 year. And one of the quite strange action, to be honest, this morning, where we saw the tens and the fives were breaking highs, but the long end of the curve was selling off. Very typically, one of them is going to correct when that happens. And the market's been selling off. That's 2 days in a row after the auction. It's been selling off. Hey dude, how's it going? How's it going, Alex? How's your day? So just going to have a quick run through here of, this is currently the 10-year TPO profile of what we're looking at. It's currently Wednesday. So we've not really, yesterday was extremely boring. Yeah, I mean, look at the range from yesterday. From top to bottom, total 17 ticks. So it spent majority of the time in balance. 30-year and the ultra were a little bit volatile yesterday. So it's not been the easiest week so far. One of these days today where I was looking to buy the 30-year. I was looking to be a buyer, and I was looking that we were going to basically print the previous day's high or somewhere abouts that. And the opportunity arose when essentially the long end of the curve was selling off and I was buying. I literally stopped out at a tick and then it went it went to the highs. So these things happen. And then we got a second attempt at it as well where it pulled back after the prints came out and I didn't get filled. So when that happens, it's just not your day. Wow, that's impressive, dude. You must have had some serious size on there to get that, or did you just hold like a couple of contracts or something? I've not actually looked at indices that much today. Trader boy, how's it going? So we'll just bring this up here. So in essence, we had this sell-off, which was, I think, short-lived. This is the close here. This is the 10-year, of course. Here, this is the 30-year, right? So we had this sell-off yesterday towards the end of session. Overnight session, we went bid to pull back. I was then, I don't really trade pre-market. Maybe an hour before open, I'll trade. And then we were basically probing highs. So I was buying this and made a couple of ticks on that, which is great. But the 30-year was the trade. I mean, when I was saying that the market pulled back, it did here. And I basically bought and got stopped out literally at the lows here because I thought they're gonna run it. And then it went all the way up to the highs. And then the market came down again, and I didn't buy it on the dip this time. I waited for it to basically come down here and probe back up, and I just didn't get filled. And then we did the same move again, basically back up to the highs. So shit happens. Not every day is a good day. C'est la vie. Just thought I'd run through the trades today. So let's bring up the ladderoos and have a look at it. Hello, Terence. Nice, dude. Well, what did you? I'm assuming you were just short and you held the trade going by this. I mean, I don't, you know. Wow, what a sell-off. Fucking hell. Let me have a look and see where we're at. Here. Interesting. So we've now broke through that area. Wow, what a sell-off. This is always coming, right? Splits it. Look at that. A period just absolutely tanked. Pretty much on the back of the Mag 7s just not performing as expected. Oh, you took 17, so it wasn't just one. That's it. Were you going in with pretty big size? Because to make 17k in a day sounds like a 10 to 15 contract job on NQ. Okay, let's see exactly where we are here. Let me squish this a little bit. Right, I need to get rid of all these old lines that we've drawn. I can actually... I think we may merge these weeks now. Let's do that. Oh, you're answering, Alex. 2 to 4 start now, and then 3 trades at 10. Yeah. Jesus, man. Balls of steel. 10 contracts in NQ is some size. Oh. That's... Are you trading that with Apex, I take it, Alex? And was that on your funded account, or? Right, let's do a little bit of a merge here, so we can see. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so we've just, I think, I mean, if we break here, I actually might go to Trading View and bring up. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that for a change, actually. I kind of want to look at it from... Bear with me a second here. Trading View. Go to Trading View. And we'll just go to S&P. Rid of this. Just want to see where we are. It's much quicker to bring up a weekly chart like this. Let's get rid of this here. Okay, and let's go back down to the daily on here. Very nice, dudes. Happy to hear it, my friend. Okay, so this is pretty much the kind of key level that we're at right now. If we draw this here. So if we do break here on ES, this level, I probably should just put a line there instead of... So if we do break this level here, there's not really very much stopping it. You know, that's another 150 points to get down here if we do crack. And this is basically just the back of the Mag 7 stocks not being so great. Nice, dude. That's what I like to hear. Well done, man. Happy days. So, in essence, the ES is at quite a fragile point at the moment. So, if we do not defend you know, this sort of area here. Let's just put a rectangle at it. So if we do not defend here, it's quite fragile, to say the least. This is the lowest it's been since the last rollover. Let's see, the algo is back again. It must be a nightmare to look at Bookmap with that algo there. It must be like a Christmas tree on ES. If you look at that at the moment, Alex, if you bring up ES on Bookmap, right, with this algo here, we've been calling it the ghost or the range capping algo. It just follows price. I'd imagine Bookmap will be lighting up like a Christmas tree with these orders, but they're not real. Yeah, Trader Boy. I take it's you wait for initial balance and then it's just, you know, nice that you didn't fade that today. There's nothing that moves quicker than a selling market, to be honest. Tonya, so these will never get filled, right? This algo has been here now. I think this is maybe 4 weeks. It takes a couple of days off. The firm that's deploying this is deploying this to distort the book. To share when price is moving, it's moving constantly. If you just watch it, keep your eye on here and here. When price moves, you know, up a few ticks, this will move. When price moves down a few ticks, this will move. So this is there to distort the book for the liquidity it's available, because there'll be certain algorithms that'll be buying and selling depending on what is the overall strength of the bid and offer and what's been pulled and stacked and so on and so forth. There they've just been gone and then they've been added back in. There we go. So they're not real. And the order flow becomes extremely difficult when these firms deploy these algorithms. They're deployed for no other reason to throw people off. Some quants basically it's basically been working on something for a while and deployed it in the last 3-4 weeks. Well, the thing is, Tonya, I mean, Bookmap is just a different way of looking at the DOM. DOM is like the raw source. I suppose what Alex is meaning is Bookmap is giving you a prompt if there's an iceberg there, or you know, if there is absorption and so on. That's there. It's giving you an audio, a visual, and makes an alert for it. Yeah, it's illegal, boss, but that doesn't stop them, dude. If you go through the streams, amount of times I've streamed on here, and you see the amount of spoofing, it is crazy. Antonio, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It's more just what you prefer, to be honest. Um, some people maybe prefer to look at a depth of market, um, or some may prefer to look at a visual representation of it, like Bookmap. It's really the same thing, to be honest. But I would say that right now on Bookmap, with these orders here and here, they're just going to be, like orange and red blobs that are constantly appearing here and here. And if you want to go on to I don't know, have a look at that thing with Bookmap thing, it would be interesting and you see what I mean. So roughly at like 10 and a half, 10 and a quarter, and 10 evens, and 4 and a quarter or 4 and a half, you just see them constantly move and pull unless they aggregate ticks. Yeah, I think I think he's pretty big on iceberg orders, if I remember correctly. He almost just draws a range with the iceberg order is, and then trades a break and retest and throws in an ATR in there, if I remember correctly. Alex, there's a link to Tick Strike for a free trial in the description of this video, I think. If you don't have it. Yeah, there's a link to it in this video, dude. Absolutely no idea what Trade Pro Academy is. I would, if I'm honest with you, going by the name, doesn't sound very pro. What is Trade Pro Academy? Let's go. I have a feeling that is that not a podcast channel, or am I making that up? Ah, okay. Nice, Alex. Well, the objective here is really just to shorten the learning curve. And the one thing I would say is everything about OrderFlow you can find online. That's for sure. But when you go down the sort of live room type thing, all you're really doing is getting it in a one place and sort of pointing you to the nuggets per se. Because if you do 10 courses, you're probably only going to take 2 or 3 nuggets away from each. A very common one you'll hear is, does the market seek out liquidity so it would go down to fill these large orders, or will the market scare away from those large orders, for example? Some people would say other things. So really it boils down to your own experience and the time that you put in. I would say, to be honest, that potentially Bookmap may be better for NQ, is it's, I don't know, there's just no, I don't know, what thresholds would you even have for that, like 40 or something? 40, 50 contracts or something as an iceberg or something along those lines? I don't know, I would like to see their API or the documentation for how they call icebergs, because the thing is about stops, just to, a stop indicator, stops are kept broker side. So in essence, when you've seen we discussed the sweep in the book where it'll be at a high and they'll bang it, and you'll see stops trigger and it'll snap back. It's like the visualization of it. So the only thing I can assume is that Bookmap have somewhat coded that behavior in to indicate a cue for it. Because stop indicator is just the best guess, because of course, as you know, stops are kept broker side. See, this is the only, I don't know. You need to have the thresholds, done, because I just ever so slightly feel that the iceberg indicators and absorption, fair enough, but the one I can't really get behind until I see how they, like, what's the logic behind it, how they would actually determine what a stop is. No problem, Alex. That's much appreciated, dude. But it's great that you're getting on with it, man. That's the main thing. And this I suppose for every trader, right? I've been trading for years, and when I first started, all these things weren't available. So I had to just get a depth of market and stare at the damn thing. But nowadays, there's loads of different ways to look at it. So if you're starting, it may be worth exploring these different avenues just to see if you prefer one or the other, you know? And that's where, from my end, I find it quite challenging to teach a course per se. I think I focus more on refining your edge once you feel like you have one, rather than actually telling you where to buy and sell. That's the thing. ES is 700. Is this for icebergs? And so thresholds on NQ are 150. 120 to 150 for icebergs, and stop runs is half. Ah, okay. Okay, so you've got stop runs at like 60 piece. Terrence, yeah, this is Sierra chart, dude. This is Sierra chart. For ice cream. Nice. Who cares about trading? Let's get the ice cream out. Get the Ben and Jerry's out. That's cool. Yeah, so key level that we've got marked out just down below here. If we do take this out, we've got quite a lot left in the day here. If we do take this out, then this could be a bit of a bloodbath. Yeah, Terence. I mean, the thing is, I think if with the videos that I've got on the channel, I think you need to work your way through so you understand the concepts of order flow, right? And then all you're really doing is going to one that best suits you. To be honest, you maybe prefer. So the three main, I would say, order flow tools that people use is they use the footprint, they use the depth of market, and then a sort of heat map, as we call it, which is, you can get an equivalent of one in Sierra Chart. I actually have one on there. Don't utilize it all the time. And then bookmap as well. So it just really depends on how you prefer to look at things. Who has it free, Alex? Is it not like if you get open an account with, is it Thinkorswim or something, that you get a like a bare bones version of bookmap or something along those lines? Ah, yeah, because that's the other thing as well. If I'm honest, this bookmap is pretty expensive, isn't it? It's not like, so you need the MBO pack, obviously, and then you need the pro version. Is it not like 250, 300 a month for it or something? Yeah, certainly expensive piece of kit. But I think though that if you are starting out, going from knowing not a lot to going to bookmap, you're just going to look at it and be like, what the hell are these bubbles and what is all these colours? You need to understand the concepts of why does the market seek liquidity, why does it stop run, where does it tend to do that, what is an iceberg. You need to run through all of the concepts first and then decide how you want the information to be displayed to yourself. So for example, right now, oh, there's going to be stops below here, below 95, the low of session. Now bearing in mind these orders here are not real, so for this to go up, my general stance would be we sweep down here. It's also at the standard deviation bands, and then we need to see some absorption on the bids, and then hopefully the offer is pulled to then probably take us back into fives would be the plan. But considering we have absolutely nuked the whole way, if they do take it at this level and continue to hit it with size, and the bid doesn't step up, it's got a lot of drop as we went through on that chart. Because just as a general theory, right, if you were a larger firm and you have absorbed, okay, up here, and you've been selling in, right, and there's not been that many contracts that have been hitting into this to move price down. The book is relatively thin, especially in the bid today. If you look at this, so if you had absorbed some contracts up here and were hitting into the bid, you're going to try and bang price down here because you know that everyone that was long here, their ultimate stop is going to be below the low day. So you're definitely going to put some pressure in those bids, and then it provides you the liquidity so that you can get out of your position. If you guys could hit the like button for me, that would be great. Good. There is 19 of you lovely people and only 5 likes. So get a tapping, please. So hopefully we see some action here and we don't faff around until market on close. No problem, Alex. Good to hear you've had a great day, buddy. Excellent stuff, man. Enjoy the gym. Looks like we're going now. Here we go. Let's see if they can crack this level. Wow. So they just called us that there was a little mini stop there. Also an iceberg at 97.5. So there's going to be blood if they crack it below here, but considering a lot of the offer would have probably got out there. It's a hard market at the moment. So what is everyone thinking? What positions are you looking for? Is everyone flat? Has anyone got any open orders? I would really love to see here if we can smash through this. It'd be great. You're flat, trader boy. The fact as well, we're not even extremely negative. We're only like negative 1500 or so today, so there's still a lot left in the tank for selling at the minute. Because as we said, if they take this out, there's not that much below here, to be honest. This is the lowest it's been since rollover, since the last rollover. So buyers are going to need to defend here. And the fact that everything is moving down, there's certainly some room if buyers do not step up to the plate here. Which they are at the moment. Sellers can punch this. Below the lows, we will just refresh the delta. Yep. Some size just come in there. Oh, buyers are really slinging it here. They're really hitting aggressively into the offer at the moment. To be expected though, they really need to defend their positions right now. Like typically with those orders there, they're not even absorbing passively, they just aggressively hit some size into the offer. Quite interesting action here. So buyers are holding 96.75, 96.5. Seems to be the 3-4 prices in between have been pulled. So sellers are absorbing here and buyers are absorbing here. If this goes, so sweeping these ticks and running it up between here and here. Right, copy and move here. That's pretty much what's happening. If you notice the market sweeping between those ticks, nothing's happening. The offer is absorbing 98s, 97.75, and then buyers are absorbing down here. So the fact that we're so bearish on the day, if they do bang it below these levels, there's going to be a lot of liquidations happening. Keep your eye on NQ as well. Another iceberg at 96s. If this goes, this is practically the low now. Okay, if they do pull the offer, let's see how they react to 98s, 97 and 3/4 where they're absorbing in the past. If they do pull, then we'll break above that, but seeing as they're so close here, if they can break 96s, these buyers are in trouble. But they have just absorbed about 1,000 contracts across those 4 or 5 ticks. So key level here, let's see if the offer stays strong. Offer still absorbing, 200 contracts absorbed there. Buyers are trying really hard here. NQ's helping. Interesting action. So they defended the position. For now anyways, but they need to continue pressing into the offer. If they pull the bid like they're doing, we're then back to square one again, which they are. Let's just clear this. I think we could be in here for some action in the next couple of hours. So this is ES here. I predominantly trade treasuries, but this is ES, this is NQ, this is the Russell, and this is the Dow. I don't trade them because the order flow sucks. Just look how thin the book is here, you can see. But my main instrument is typically the 10-year and the 30-year bonds. But I sometimes trade ES, but I'm not just really enjoying how thin the book is these days. So, and to be honest with you, if I traded today, I'd have probably got my arse handed to me. Because unless you clicked the sell button and closed your eyes, it would have been quite a difficult day. Okay, so let's see if we can. Buyers, as we've seen down here, have absorbed about 1,000 contracts, and that's the hard thing, Baba, about when the book is thinner. ES absorbs over like 4 or 5 ticks, and NQ you're probably talking like 3 points, so it's much harder to spot, which is why we don't have the inside prints for the other markets. I should probably say this as well, just in case you're not with futures. These are futures contracts. So it looks like sellers are not taking price below here. I would like to see if they can fill out 97s. But this go around looks like we're absorbing and faffing around in this range. But just note this 96 is right, where the buyers really stood up as a last ditch attempt. The market's then pulled off pretty much by a weak offer, and then sellers have defended. So if we do get down here again, and this same buyer that was basically saying, nah, I can't let this go lower right now, we need it to go up. If his intent is not there, then it's going to be curtains for any buyers, to be honest. Nico, how's it going, buddy boy? What's happening, dude? So pretty much the two plays that are on the cards right now is back to POC around about this area, you know, where it's going to this low pocket volume today. You would like to think that basically sellers are going to defend this area if we do get up to this point, and then we'll more likely consolidate and maybe, for some sort of upside, we'll maybe get a touch to VWAP. Seems relatively unlikely at the moment. So I think we're going to have a relatively balanced around day, or we take out these lows, to be honest. But if sellers do continue to get aggressive, if you know we're negative 854 right now in the session, is that? Well, yeah, 854 in the session, negative delta. So it's not been a one-way train. So if sellers do get extremely aggressive, plus these stop orders that get triggered down here, there's a lot of room to go to the downside. So grab your popcorn, get some snacks, and let's see if we can watch some action unfold. I'm really hoping that we don't, pull the offer, market goes back up to POC, consolidate around, and then come into market on close, we're already up around here, and then we sort of probe the low and then just sweep back into POC for market on close. I hope that's not the scenario that's going to happen. What are you in, long or short, Alex? What's your average price? So sellers do seem to be at least defending sort of the ones here at this micro range. Long. Nice. I'm pretty sure NQ would have the same sort of action, to be honest. All the absorption here at the lows. And as I was saying, that this is like a last ditch attempt, to be honest, for buyers, because if they do take this out and sellers get aggressive, then it's all she wrote. So you're wanting 330s. So you're wanting up here. 1020 right here at POC, pretty much. Is that you out? 23. So it would be the next three. Is it higher? I mean, we're not talking all the way up here, are we? Or are we? Oh, you're done, right? Okay, so I was thinking. So you wanted pretty much POC? Is that here 30s? Oh, sorry, I've lost the plot. You're talking about 20. He paid 20.3k, right? Oh fuck. Well done, fucking hell, dude. What a day. I must say though, man, balls of steel for 10 contracts and NQ, jeez oh. Hey, 10 year, how's it going? Yeah, it's impressive. It's more so the balls, to be honest. 10 contracts in NQ is some size. I mean, look at the bid and offer. If you go in and hit market at that in a live environment, you're going to take out like 3 prices, to be honest. So it's not to be sniffed at. You could be down 1k in the blink of an eye. Okay, markets then down here, 96s. Note how we marked this out. So buyers are still absorbing. If they can punch through this. Notice how there's still a buyer here. Right. Let's see if they can punch through it. These firms are throwing the kitchen sink at it at the moment. They're really, really throwing it. Let's see if they punch it, and let's see the stop run it happens. I mean, surely to goodness they're going to hit through the lows here. But this buyer, they've now absorbed. We're probably coming up in the guts of 2k. We are seeing a bit of negative delta come in, so if there is a flurry of 2,000-3,000 contracts that comes in with not a lot of buying, here we go. Now notice the sweep motion is going to happen, so they should be here. There's still someone with intent here. 400 contracts at the low. You need to see the offer stay strong. The last thing you want to see is the offer be pulled, or we're back into this range bullshit again. No problem, Alex. Have a good day, buddy. Yes, turn on to Sim or something. You've made 20k. You don't need to trade anymore. It's just boredom. Go to the gym, pump some weights, get some food, relax, enjoy your evening, dude. Right, let's see them just hit it here. Wow, there's the stop run. There it is. 600 absorbed in one tick. Let's see if they're going to pull it off or they're going to continue. I expect them to continue here because there could be blood in the streets if they continue banging this. Still a lot of absorption here on the bid. 701 tick. Let's see if they continually hit it. Notice the amount of selling that's coming in. So sellers are saying, let's bang it. If this bid is done, if these guys are done these block trades, just basically every tick at the moment is an iceberg. There we go, popcorn time. S&P gonna get wrecked. I'm not joking when I say this. Literally every one of these ticks on the way down has been an iceberg. It just shows you how shit the book is these days. Like, they're breaking up orders, they're showing 80, but then they do 600. You know what I mean? It's just the sophistication of the order types on ES at the moment is ridiculous. Because look at the amount of absorption here. 439, 234, 144, 400, 600. You know? That was not on the book. Even though there's still tons of buyers stepping in, I wouldn't be fading this at all, because there is a much better risk to reward to the downside at the moment. There's a lot of room to go. Still seeing sales coming in aggressive. It's shocking these days how you can't just get a complete dump. You know what I mean? Like, we're now at the absolute low of this contract. We want to see this thing absolutely capitulate. You know, let's give us like a 50 tick, 60 tick candle. Okay, so we'll adjust this. This is the low that was broke. I'll take this away. Or the sort of imbalance area, as we call it, if you're looking at it on a footprint. So sellers should be protecting, 95, 95 and a quarter, 95 and a halves. If we do get back up there, there should also be a little bit of take profit happening. And then if we do go back above the swept area, then we're back in play here to go back up to POC. But just a little bit grim that below the low of day where there's not really any trades, these large firms just say, this is not dropping anymore. Let's just absorb 2,000 contracts again. So we'll clear this. And you guys notice that the range algo that we're calling it, just again, never gets touched, never gets filled. Just continually bounces around with no real point of being there, apart from to throw everyone off. Okay, here we go. Let's see if sales are going to defend. 286 absorbed. I'll probably run it by a few ticks. Let's see if they do step in. So defended it. There's the classic break and retest happening. Let's see if it's going to hold. It's holding so far. Okay, so now you've in essence seen the people buying here. They were taking some profit. Sellers have stepped in a little bit, but you want to see them gobble up this delta, and you want to see the bid be pulled for us to continually work our way down. If buyers do get back above 96s, then we're back on for POC, fluff around again. You don't want to be seeing this. You want to see sellers continually hit and this bid not be there. Everything is dropping at the moment. So what do you guys think? This is a little bit better action than before. Last couple of days has been shocking. So play still stands. We need to continually go down here. Look at this, the amount of absorption here at 92, 91 and a halves. Considering there's no real volume, they've basically made volume down here. If we do take out these lows, then as discussed earlier on the stream, it can be bloodbath behavior. But right now we're still in the sort of sweep possibility to go back up to POC. But I'm hoping for the sake of action that we do continually hit into the bids and do not just absorb around, and we sort of, you know, this sort of range we faff around in here now for, you know, the next 30 minutes. So it depends if it's ES, wax, it really depends on how the day is. You know, somewhere between 6 to 10, a good trade would be 15, you know, 20 ticks. It depends on the day. You know, if you've got days like today where the ranges are bigger, then, you know, you really need to have slightly bigger targets. But just because you've got bigger targets means you need to reduce your risk, of course. So we'll see. Let's see if we can hit it. So they need to break 91 and a halves. So note this range where now this is a sort of lower volume area we're just filling out. Until we probe either part at 91 and a halves or 95 and a half, we're just in this micro range. But it's the classic trade there that this come up, retested the imbalance area, which is the break and retest that, you know, normally hits it by a few ticks, and then it's went down to here, so you've got, you know, the guts of 10 ticks on that trade. If you do take that specific trade, I think really at the moment it is quite dangerous to fade this. The only thing it is in your back is the fact buyers have really stepped in down here. So in theory, if you're a buyer, You know, the market should not be breaking below 91s. And if you're a seller in this range, you need to start rethinking your life if we get above like 97s tops. So at the moment we're just distributing, and then we'll see. So buyers are pressing a little bit at the moment and the sellers are absorbing. To be expected though in a little micro range. So what does everyone think? Put a 1 in the chat for me if you think we're going to break the lows and see a bloodbath. 2 if you think we're just going to go and reclaim POC. Be nice to see what the sentiment is for everyone. So 1 if we're going to break lows and continue to push lower throughout this session, or 2 is if you think we're going to reclaim point of control. Two. Yeah, you can look at that on the coffee, dude. I don't teach a strategy or anything of that nature per se. I can help you with order flow and things, but I don't. I believe in people building their own edge, and I can help refine it. But you can look into the coffee for anything of that nature, dude. Two, so you think we're going to reclaim POC? JP, reclaim POC. How you guys doing? JP, you're lurking. Pim, that's a cool name. So you guys are all thinking a reclaim of POC. Yeah, I like your thinking. I mean, this is crazy though. This just shows you the power of order flow, right? In my opinion, this is the absolute low of this contract everyone is trading. And if you did not have a depth of market up, or at least something to indicate order flow, you'd have no idea that buyers were aggressively absorbing here at these prices. I mean, this is madness. They've absorbed over the 3,000 in these 4 ticks. So let's see. Here's the testing point. Is the business going to be completed? There's another iceberg that's there. Wow, 351. So it's still some intent with the passive orders there. Sellers are coming in a little bit, so they've gobbled up the buying. Note here if they're gonna punch it, and let's see if the buyers are going to hold. At this exact level, you want to see the offer continually absorb. You're not wanting to see them pull, then we're back up 4 ticks. You want to see them stand, press on the offer, and continually hit into the bid. And they need to drill through these orders. Because as you guys can see, the buyers right now are not really being aggressive, they're more on the passive side. But if sellers continue to be aggressive, these iceberg orders, when they're done, the market will punch. Not every iceberg order, just because they're absorbing tons, means it's going to hold and the market's going to go back up. When these levels break, they tend to break with a bit of an oomph. Jesus, 1,000 contracts here absorbed at 92s, 800 here, 400 here. It's crazy. And in essence, what you see here, right, is if sellers continually drill this, okay, and you know we get to the stage where there's like 4,000 or 5,000 contracts absorbed down here and it's not cracking, they're going to run out of steam. And then you have all these buyers that are then net long from here. They can then start just feathering into the bid, and hopefully the offer is weak. And then before you know it, you're back up here and they start working the offer to take profits from all this absorption. That's another play that could happen, and the sentiment seems to be that you guys think that's going to happen, which I don't blame you after seeing all of that absorption down at the lows. Yeah, Tonya. So pretty much, absorption can only be done by passive orders. So very simply, wow. So buyers just come in there at some size 200, 240, absorbed in the offers. So say for example, I have 112 here, right, at this price at 91 3/4. Okay, so note here. The market constantly changes, so it's quite hard to explain this. In fact, give me a little second. Let me do this. See if you guys can see this. Okay, right. Okay, it's because it's not changing. Can you guys see this? Yeah, you can. Okay, fab. Right. Quick tip on the absorption. Okay, so there's 200 here, right? Note 200 at this price. Okay. So the market comes down to this 200 offer, or sorry, 200 on the bid. Okay, so ignore these levels. So when sellers hit into this, if they hit 50 contracts into this in theory, if the market stays still, would go down to 150, right? So they've taken 50 of that 200. It's now down to 150. But what is happening, as you can see here, okay, there was never 800 here or 985, you know, this is the thousands a second ago. Those orders were never there. So these large firms now are basically layering the book with 100 each price, when actually there is an iceberg behind these orders, okay? So in this example, what we'll see is they take the full 200, okay, and then instantaneously these algos are reloading another 200, another 200, another 200, okay, and sellers are then continually hitting it. You know, they're saying, right, gimme, smashing into that, and that's how you get at these prices. You're getting 800, 400. Now this is delta, so it's negative. It's not total contracts traded, but it means there was a net negative, you know, 800 contracts in this price, but there was never 800 contracts sitting on the bid for sellers to hit into. So because the book is that thin these days, these firms just layer 100 down on the bid and on the offer, and when the market comes, they basically say, right, trigger iceberg if 50 or 100 is executed. So they continually reload, so the market never passes, right? So when I'm saying this is reloading, they're reloading the bid and they're absorbing all the sellers, okay? What I'm saying is that there's been 800 negative contracts, 400 985, okay, which is the guts of, we'll just round it up, 2,000 contracts, right? And the market's not moved, still not moving. Got all this selling that's happening here, you know. We're approaching probably negative 3,500 contracts down at these prices, and the market's not cracking down here, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So Wax, footprint in my opinion, let me get the pen out here. Footprint in my opinion is only good to spot imbalances. But if I'm honest with you, when you get proficient at the market, right, where I drew this line is an imbalance. Okay? An imbalance is the market aggressively hits through an area, there is more sellers than buyers, and it leaves an imbalance. And the theory behind an imbalance is when the market gets back to that, sellers will defend that imbalance. That's pretty much how it works, right? That can be seen in the footprint. But when you get proficient at it, you don't need these tools. You know, you just need a DOM. You just need a DOM. The DOM is like the raw source of all of this extra fluff, right? Oh, we're seeing some size now. Notice this guy is still fucking here. Look at this. 400 now. Fucking hell, man. One of these firms is like, guys, we cannot let this go below here. Please, please stop the session. Stop the bleeding, please. Can we please hold it? Come on, sellers, hit it. If we hit it below here, we should hopefully these guys are going to go, and then we should. There we go. There's the stopper run. Ooh, I like it. Notice how they're still absorbing though. God, the bid is pretty thick, because what you're now going to see as well is in this behavior is this is not only fresh buyers, right? Just to be clear here. Let me get the pen out. I need to make sure that when I'm doing this, it gives me the off, right? Okay, so let's see if we can. This has got a lot of room to go. This thing could absolutely nuke. So, what you find here is these bids are not only people looking to buy, okay? This will be these guys that are net short from these prices up here, right? These bids are them getting out of the market as well. So they'll be layering that too. There's the capitulation. This is now it. So this guy, this dude basically held up the market. See this guy here who was doing all of this stuff here, right? That we showed, right? Once this guy's business is complete, he literally, so one large firm basically tried to stop the market there, here. Sellers overpowered them and then were dumping. You know, and very typically you'll see that when these large guys step up at these prices and sellers are not aggressive, that is when you turn back into the point of control. But the risk to reward was extremely good to the downside, because when we ran through this, just quickly let me jump on this. Okay, if we look at this, when we discussed, if we took out that low that we did, okay, and here, there's a lot to the downside down here, a lot. So this thing could, I mean, we're talking about, I don't think they're going to do it this session, but if these Mag 7s continue to get nuked, this is not good. Yeah, exactly, Stocks. I mean, you don't need to use the DOM at all. I'd imagine if you look at 95.5, roughly at these 3 ticks, you'd have seen imbalances. When they retest it, that was essentially one of your entries to take short. And then once this dude here, these prices right here, had completed the business and sellers broke through, you know, this thing could really go. So we're then going to see the more sell imbalances, you know, pretty much at these prices. So if the market does do the classic break and retest, this should then basically defend this area. And we'll see. And do you notice the difference right now is it's not as much trade that's happening. But very, very typically, when you see these pumps and drops like that, where the market just bangs it and they get a nice move, these guys need to take profits, man. These guys that would be net short from round about here, when they do get to bang this, they need to start taking profits. So this doesn't necessarily mean that this is fresh buyers coming in. Yeah, Rob, it's basically one. Did you sell ES at all, Rob? I was writing my analysis that you should have got the popcorn ready. A little bit of two-way trade here. Someone is still stepping up here on the bid. 400 absorbed right at the lows, 2 ticks from the lows. If this breaks again, we're going to see another sweep low to the low. 500 in that literally in 1 tick. 500 contracts. So in this last little surge here of Delta, basically the offer is absorbing. It amazes me now the amount of icebergs that get triggered in ES. This is a sort of non-typical day though, right? It's not normally as obvious as this. Ah, so you're okay. Eunice, how's it going, dude? Yeah, exactly. Masterclass in the Dom. Look at this. We're just capitulating. Do you see the difference in action, though? The difference in action versus this behavior here, if you rewind it, the buying was basically been absorbing. So this is all she wrote, man. If we quickly jump back to the trading view chart here, just as it's easier to look at, there is a lot of room to go down here, man. A lot of room. I don't know if it'll happen this session. I would like to see it, but is these mag 7s continue to bleed, like, it's going to be bad. Wait, what's happened there? I've been streaming now for a little while. Did anything happen? Let me quickly check that, mate. Oh, what? Wait, what? Holy shit! Wow. Look at the 10 here, honestly. Jesus Christ. Let's have a look. 10 years not moved that much, but the Ultra has absolutely bomb dived. Jeez, oh. This is actually a very non-common day. Only a quarter of the time do we take the previous day high. Well, we're actually saying that. So this is the settlement price. So typically on the 10-year, if we take the previous day high or low, there's a 75% chance that we close in favour of the break that day for settlement. That's an awful word salad, but I hope I'm making that clear. Basically, if you break the high, there's a 75% chance that you will close above the previous day close. So it looks like today we've been crazy. Did you trade? Did you trade any of this? I typically am done for 6 p.m. my time, so 1 p.m. US. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Let me jump back into this. Wow, look at the 30 here. Jeez, oh. If we just reclaimed the CPI print. Yeah, we have. Fucking hell. So this is just reclaimed the complete CPI print that come up and then consolidate the highs, and we've just, wow, interesting. Would you look at that? We have a sweep of the 2-week low. How typical. Okay, anyways, let's go back to that. But it's crazy. Oh, we missed some action. There's action everywhere today. This is more like it. Just a shame I'm not trading it. I'm normally done by 1 p.m. and all the action happens in the PM session, and I'm not trading. Wow. God, this is it. Good amount of buying has just come in as well. Some sheer amount of buying. I'm assuming some heavy amount of buying. Some heavy amount of buying just come in there to the Mag 7s in order for that to happen there. It's crazy. Is the bets been reduced on the Fed? On the Fed cut in September, have you checked those stats, Rob? I've not in the last hour or so, couple hours. Is the Fed's stats reduced for the September cut? One, just considering how bonds are behaving, or yeah, Eunice, the definitely some great talking points in the DOM today. These are the types of days that it's good to discuss things. You know, see when the market faffs around and does nothing, it's not really much to talk about. So you need good action in order to give you the talking points. Because it's not like I can discuss OrderFlow when it's in a 4-tick range. Same with Treasuries as well. With Treasuries is a lot more straightforward. I'm assuming I'll need to go and replay that later. But very typically Treasuries, when it takes the low, it just continually hits it, to be honest. Stop runs happen, continually takes the next price. It doesn't do this whole sweepy, you know, sit in a range like that for a while. It's just a different market. Okay, so let's see if we can defend this little mini pocket here. Again, all the spoofing is happening. The algo is back. Here is a link to anyone that wants to support the channel. I will pin it. I'm aware a lot of you people are, but anyone that wants to show some extra support to the channel is much obliged. Let's see, you guys have hit the like button too for me, which is greatly appreciated. Also going to need to get my screwdrivers and bolts out because this desk chair is squeaking and it's annoying the shit out of me. Let me know if you guys have got any questions. See if we can defend this area, otherwise we'll need to be back up to this balance area again, and then I think that might be us until the market on close data comes out. So we are defending the little mini imbalance here, 84.25. I can't believe how much bonds have dropped and I've not been watching. Unbelievable. But it's always the same in bonds, man. It's in like a 3-4 tick, and then the minute you turn the way it moves. It's always the same. So it's always good when there's some action. Okay, so we're seeing basically a number of buyers come in right now, yet the market is not really moving. So you can see that here. We are defending this little imbalance that prior was a little pocket. So buyers need to try and reclaim here, and then they have to clear the other imbalance before us to end back in, you know, sort of POC way. But if they do not start to take control, we're then going to see these buyers are then going to have to, in essence, puke when price and they get when price gets down here. They need to start puking. But as you can see though, today it's been pretty one-sided. You know, it's basically been. If you look at a line chart, this is it. Wow, 1800 ticks. Jeez, oh. It's one of those days where you sell 10 lots, Rob, and you know, just, I don't know, too much whiskey and fall asleep. It's about the only chance. It's about the only chance you're holding that, isn't it? He's been in a coma. I mean, let's be serious. No one has got the balls to. I certainly can't hold 1800 ticks. I mean, seriously, the only way anyone's holding that is if they've got one micro on. You know what I mean? And these types of days, as we know, if anyone is attempted to buy today, they will have their arse handed to them, because there's not been any pullback. Yeah, exactly, mate. You sneeze and you're down $1,000. Oh jeez, this is a painful day. I mean, to be honest, I hate to. I'm not like a perma bull or anything, right? But I have you know, kind of been calling this for a while, where 40% of the S&P is underperforming this year. If it wasn't for the Mag 7 stocks, this we wouldn't have been doing what we're doing for the full half of the year. So there's probably been some profit taking. You know, the earnings reports that come out have not been too fantastic, and a little bit of some selling pressure into the Mag 7s, and this is the result. Also, the inverted yield curve is a bit fishy too. Last time we had it as aggressive like this, it's actually more aggressive now, was when the crash happened in 2007, 2008. So where is the level? Okay, so buyers, let's just put a note, a line in the sand here. Okay, so sellers need to regain control below 81s in order to press the lows down here. But something tells me that we are more likely to go up and retest 92s. There's a heck of a lot of buying coming in. And if the offer... It's all very well the offer absorbing, but they still need to get a little bit aggressive their end. So they are still holding this little pocket that was the imbalance at one stage. By the way, Rob, see how that trade got stopped out to low in the 30s before it printed the highs. It came back down again, and I was like, right, I'm gonna go for I'm gonna basically bid, and look to retest the highs again. And I'm not joking, I didn't get filled, and it did the exact same thing. So as soon as that happened, I was like, I need to get away from the screen before I start mashing buttons. It's stopped at the low before the high went in the 30s, and then didn't get filled in the second attempt. And each run went for like 10 ticks as well. So if you get two opportunities like that and it doesn't happen, it's not your day. Okay, so we have reclaimed below here. Let's see if we can continually hit it. Yeah, it's not been the best 2 days for me. Tuesday was so boring yesterday. 17 tick range in the 10s. Sold off towards the end of session, which I was done by. And then the day that happened, so c'est la vie. On to tomorrow. The offer is certainly still gobbling at the moment. This buying that's coming in. We have seen 5,000 delta come in, right? And the market has not moved to the upside. Wow. Holy smokes. What's the VIX at? Has anyone looked? Yeah, exactly, Rob. I mean, to be honest with you, what was the catalyst for that dumping? To be honest, is there anything? I mean, is the Fed's is rate cuts been reduced in September? There's not any data. Is it just? I know that the COT reports that come out for the last few weeks, where a lot of the big firms were net short aggressively, so could be that. 18 VIX. Right, this is why the action's much better when you're at the 18s. Above 15, it's game on. When it's down at like 13, it's shit. If this drops any more, I'm going to need to add some more in to my long-term investments for ES. You know, just the non-leveraged part of the portfolio, which is meant to look after me when I'm extremely old and grey. Just does not seem to be any letting up here, does there? A lot of buying coming in, yet we are literally moving our way down. Wow. Okay, little icebergaroo here at 77.5. If they can break here again, we've got another probe of the lows again. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're going to continue smashing the lows here? Put a 1 if you think we're going to continue to smash the lows, or 2 if you think we're going to revert our way back. Now, and give me a 2 if you think we're going to finish back in value. So someone has stopped the market at 77.5 there. The offer is now being pulled to get us back up. You notice the amount of absorption at 81s. Over 1,000 contracts absorbed at 81 alone. So we could potentially just dilly-dally, you know, probably to 84.25, and then we'll need to see what the market on close data is like, which will probably reprice, and that's going to be the data that will maybe give us the push back into POC. Pim thinks we're going to continually smash the lows. Nice trader boy. Yeah, I think I could be on the cards. I mean, there's just so much absorption on the offer at the moment, so there's going to need to be a heck of a lot of buying to do so. So the fact that I think there has been, at these prices, about 4,000 contracts absorbed in the offer across here. Most likely they bang it below the lows or somewhere down this region. They have been down at 77.5, so I didn't check the contracts that were done below there. But you'd like to think they're going to bang it below the lows, basically start getting out, so they're the ones that will be working the bids down here. They can get out of their net shorts with all the absorption that's happened, and then they can pull the offer because they're no longer there, and then buyers then basically take it back up. So that's one of the plays. The other play is we just absolutely capitulate, and in bear fashion, with, you know, with my little bear logo and everything, not that we're a perma bear, we just absolutely nuke and go to zero. How's about that? Bought a knife, walking. Yeah, this is Honestly, dude, the number one thing um I would say if you fade the world is please include some initial balance rules into your trading, because if you don't, these types of days you will just fucking ruin yourself. Um, because it's very hard for traders to shift their bias. So if you think, right, I'm going to be a buyer today, you end up fucking buying everything, and before you know it, you've done your full risk for the day, and sometimes even more. And there's nothing worse than in trading, in my opinion, than having a managed loss and then turning that into a bigger loss. I actually, it's the worst feeling in trading, in my opinion. I've been doing this for a long time. I would probably rather lose multiple days in a row with a managed loss than I would, just take one bigger loss, just because it really fucks with your mind, to be completely blunt. So hopefully you've not did that, dude. And if you do, work in your journal, put some steps in place so it doesn't happen again. Because we all do it, man. Everyone's been there. Knockout, how's it going? How's it going, Avi boy? Nice to see you in here, dude. Daniel, educated guess, drop into the close, margin call. Yeah, it would be nice if we just continually bang it down to the lows. That would be nice. The one thing that, the key inflection point is going to be this offer needs to be gone, right? So whoever large firm is absorbing here in the offer, they need to have done their business in order for this to go down, and they're going to need to start. They're not going to, most likely they are not going to be absorbing on these prices to take it for 3-4 ticks. They're probably going to want to hit it at least down, somewhat down in this kind of range, right, down here, and then they can then start getting out of their orders down here. And then when the market then revisits back up into this print here, the fact that they were the ones absorbing in the offer, they're no longer there, and the offer is pulled, i.e. not there, and then we then get this continuous push back up into POC. So that's the realistic play I think is going to happen. It's going to happen here. Because buyers have got these sort of weird splurges where some size is clearly coming into the Mag 7 that you just seen there. It's having this weird kind of whoosh up. And very typically when you see that, it's normally some sizes coming into the underlyings. Would be a great time to actually bring up tick strike. I'll need to do that in the next stream. Maku, ES might run back up to test the low of 7s. Are you talking about the imbalance, Maku, that was lefted? So dollar index new highs in session, put the sell. Yeah, it always is, right? Always is. So what's happening? I mean, we know the Mag 7. Has there been any political news? Is that Harris Broad basically said I'm useless and I now need to hand it over to Trump? I mean, what's went on here? Because as we know, quite typically Trump will, Trump essentially does cause higher inflation, right? So the closer we get to him being in power, basically he loves to pump the stock market, create growth, causes higher inflation, drives treasuries down and higher yields, typically. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. It's been relatively flat delta, to be honest. It's not been one-sided. So we're seeing it being relatively neutral. And you'll notice that though, like for example here, look at all this selling that was absorbed here. So there's some big firms that have been stepping up trying to hold this. This is like here, right? This is crazy. That's too small a pen. It's because it's a highlighter. Come on. That's why. There we go. Okay. So the amount of selling here, the market, someone's basically said, I'm going to try and hold price here, and then they don't, and then it has this capitulation, which this is why the day becomes neutral in Delta, because these big firms are basically coming in and absorbing prices. But this little last pocket here where we've seen all this buying come in, the market's just working its way down gradually. So as we said, that this offer round about here from like 82s to 81s, where we've seen over 2,000 contracts. I mean, you're probably let me just show you this. So -7 to approx -2. So we're talking the guts of 5k delta that's been hit here. Okay. Now in these sort of prices from probably 83.5, down to 81s, right? There has been approximately 5k delta, give or take, right? Absorbed in these prices. Now it's not going to be exact, but we're talking roughly. So now what we're going to see is all this absorption. These guys are now hitting in to try and get price to break, and what you want to see is they then now need to get out of their orders that we discussed. So they need to bang this through. Then we see some stop runs down here. $570 contracts. Okay, so let's see if they can break this level here. So they are trying. See the selling that's coming in here. So watch this here. So they are trying. Buyers are trying to hold. We've seen 570 absorbed here, now 333. So there's an iceberg here and an iceberg here at 78s and 72 and a quarter. So note though, these guys can be getting out of these orders down here. I would like to see them run it, but there's still a couple of thousand contracts they could have got out. So now, if in order for this to get back up to these prices, the guys that had carried out all this absorption, they need to be out of their orders. And note for the size that comes in. So we'll clear this actually so you can see it. What we need to see in order for this to go up is when price gets to this 81 and 82s, the offer needs to be pulled. So you want to see like 50 trades, 60 trades, none of this, 188, 200. They're still absorbing quite aggressively. Because as we discussed, there's two ways that the market can move: aggressive one-side pressure, or a lack of resistance. And that's the thing, is nowadays with market making firms layering the bid and offer, you need to pay attention to when that bid and offer is being pulled. Because if you look at it, pretty much they try and make it out that there's almost like an equilibrium between buyers and sellers on the book, but there never is. Because when price touches a level, they'll pull it. So they make you think that there's loads stacking up in the offer, right? But then actually when they're ticking into it, they either add more or pull it. So that's pretty much part of their game plan, right? As of right now, you know, look, there's another iceberg here in the offer. They're just continually reloading. For the stocks, for the option of the footprint, is a 300% imbalance sufficient in your opinion? Yeah, 300% imbalance is good, bud. 300% probably minimum. Minimum I would go is 200, but 300% is, yeah. The trouble is I find with those imbalances in the footprint, man, they always just appear at the lows of a you know. I don't know. I'm quite an old school guy when it comes to order flow. I learned on the depth of market, so it's what I'm used to. There's so many different tools, and it's your job as a trader to realize, do you prefer footprint? But the trouble is with footprint is you're only seeing market orders, you're not seeing the limit orders. You know, do you want to use some of the guys in here? I think Alex was in earlier that loves bookmap. You know, do you prefer to look at the market and heat maps in that kind of way? The one thing I would say is when these algo orders are in here in ES, the book map is pretty much useless because it will just be flashing like a Christmas tree. It'll actually give you a lot more false positives. And I can guarantee you that people that don't know that these, you know, there'll be a lot of retail traders out there that don't realise this is a thing, and they'll be looking at that book map and they'll be getting hammered. You know? And bookmap works for certain things, but you just need to, it's like everything, you need to learn the tools that you're using, and you maybe prefer one of them. But realistically, the concepts are all the same, you know. Yeah, Avi, exactly. That there's if we quickly jump into to this here, that's bonds. This is just the CFD contract. And let me jump on to something like the 4-hour here. So if we continue to break below here, we can really, oh, geez, oh. We jump onto the daily. We were saying this at the start of the stream that if we did crack this level, there's a long way to go, to be honest. So the risk to reward was fantastic for a tighter stop up here, which is probably why it's went. But you know, the next main point, if we do crack below here, the next main point you've got is, I'm not on Sierra. How do I even draw a line on TradingView here? So it's here, and then you're probably talking like here. So if we close below here, there's not very much in the way to get through, to get down to these prices, to be honest. So you're right in that point, Avi. Market on close data coming out in a little bit. Well, the thing is, the last 2 days since those auctions have come out, Miku, it's just been gradually working its way down, and I'm assuming the hit of the lows on everything has just been some long liquidations. I've not checked any of the wires or anything, but is there anything that's come out that has changed the rate cut chances for September? Or has anything politically happened that would basically cause yields or inflation to rise or anything? If there's not been any catalyst, then pretty much just a stop run to the lows. And also the COT reports have been extremely net short the non-commercial speculators, so the big funds. Not aware of, okay. So you can just assume then it's pretty much just been a huge stop run and long liquidations, right? It's just a shame that they don't do that at bloody open. I would say though that I've been expecting a little bit more of a rise this week in bonds, to be honest. Right. Right, so we're right at this level here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, it happened just as I was saying. Again, someone holding. So this is the play, right? They've done all this absorption. They've hit below it. Let's see now if they continually drill it. And watch the absorption on the bid. So the premise of this was these chaps here that did all this absorption. So the absorption that we'd seen here was like somewhere in this sort of area. These guys are then just going to bang it below the lows, start working these bids all the way down, okay? They'll start working the bids, get out of their orders, and try and bang it up for market on close. Let's see if that's a play. I mean, would we really take this in terms of fading this when it's literally this? Probably not, but we've got our playbook out for the Super Bowl. And then what you want to see is after they work the bid and get out of their orders, okay, when we do go back up here, the offer just gets pulled. So to easily see that and to spot it, let's clear the prints. Most likely though that we just capitulate here, but let's see how it goes. Everything is getting hammered. Russell at the lows as well. Okay. Now you need to see this bid to stay strong. Jeez, they're even trying and the offer is just like nah. Certainly some action. Oh, we've got 30 minutes until the market on close data. Not really seen any real obvious icebergs like we did up here. Watch these offers. So remember that these are all 100 deep, these offers, right? You should always be noting this in your trading anyway when you're looking at the DOM. not fantastic at the lows for that idea when they're they're absorbing 240 contracts on the offer 316. Jeez, oh. So buyers are trying and sellers are still absorbing at the lows. Crazy. And Q is helping with its little pump up here. Okay, so note the these were all 100 deep, and if essentially some of them have been pulled. As price goes up, they just pull them across the board. I find it very challenging when the book is this thin, because literally, seriously, any price can be an iceberg, to be honest. Okay, so the bullish play now is these guys are now worked out the bid down here, and then let's see if they can break this level. So they need to break 81s. The offer needs to be gone. So the guys that did all this absorption, let's hopefully they can be out of their orders now, and then when they bang this through here, they try and get it through. Okay. So notice how to move it. There's 56 traded, 93, 57. So yeah. Still someone here. Okay, there we go. So that's pretty much. If you want to learn more about that, watch the Delta video that we discussed. And the reason why you're thinking, well, how can you come to that conclusion? Because if I had absorbed 4,000 contracts at a large firm, I'm not going to go out of bed for 4 ticks. I can move the market as far as I want. So I'm going to bang it down below the lows, work the bid, get out the order. I'm now net long, and then I bang it back up. Crazy amounts on offer here. Jeez, oh. Some serious amounts two-way business here at 84s and 84 and a quarter. Jeez, 880, 890 in one tick. Then notice that business is done. They pull the bid, drops 4 or 5 ticks. Classic ES behavior. Yeah, what a bloodbath and everything, to be honest. I think the dollar is the only one that's up today. So this is it. This is now the play. How far can we go? Can we go back to POC? Let's see if they can do it. They need to break that 84s though. Someone is happily saying I've got 880 behind me. So this is a wild day. Jesus Christ, Alex, that's crazy, buddy. Congratulations. Congratulations, dude. Amazing stuff. Yeah, POC's a long way off. A long way off. In fact, to be honest, if they continue at this rate, the POC will move down here, to be honest. Yeah, 300 is a lot on NQ. Okay, if we break here, is this a little mini stopperoo up here? So watch it, see if we can pop above. God, 520 absorbed in one tick, Jesus. There is some amount of volatility today, man. I'm hoping it's not one of them that says you can't withdraw it. If they break this here, this should go. It's an iceberg at this order, basically. If they do pump it through, this should go. Jeez, oh. So it's 1,500 contracts absorbed in those 2 ticks on ES. Peg, crazy day, dude. Crazy day. %. Yeah, huge cushion, dude. Peg, did you take any trades? Have you been selling any of the Mag 7s or anything? Seeing as you're an individual equities dude. I can't believe how much the offer is absorbing here. It's almost like people are buying, that's them working on the offer to get out of the trades. So if they pull the bid, then we're back down to the lows, to be honest. Seems like a bit of profit taking on this little bid up from the lows, which is a fair whack, right? It's like, what, 30 ticks or something, give or take? Or we can just take this out and continually go bid. We'll see. Jeez, just cannot seem to break it. Right, this has to go now, surely. Wow. There we go. There is the selling stop run. Ugh, I had one of those days as well today, Pig. Just couldn't get filled on some trades and got stopped in one, and I literally ticked the low today. Well, it wasn't the low of session or anything, I just ticked the low before it went. But these days happen. Now we just consolidate now and see what's happening. I think that's pretty much all she wrote now to the market on close, 9 minutes. So, playbook happened where we saw this absorption, so this move here, where we had the 5k, market did not move a peep. And then we'd said that the play was, will they bang it below the lows so that the people that absorbed here can basically get out of their orders and work the bid. They then work the bid and get long, and then we had this little mini high of the range. Likely there will be some stops, and the people that were net long from down here now they get out of their orders, and we've seen that by the little mini stop when it happened. Now it is pretty much no man's land. Delta is coming in, so if the offer does not continue to absorb, then we should, Delta should just follow price and work our way back up. But let's see if market on close adjusts that. But that's currently where we're at the minute. Delta is pretty much, is this the high? Yeah, pretty much, give or take. Highest session on Delta. Okay, so we're going to draw this out here. This has then been the high of that little mini stop run. This is probably where POC is going to end up being for the session. How many contracts are we away from POC? 3,000. So when market on close comes in, this will most likely turn into POC at 79 3/4. Now with the upside potentially being to work our way back up here, but they still have to break that initial imbalance that was created at 92s. So we'll make this the color red for a red imbalance here. And that was the initial one that got the initial sell in. Another imbalance there, not as heavy. That was the initial pocket. I would love if Sierra could put a damn column that I could just click and type. It would be so much easier than these lines. Nice, dude. It's fantastic. So let's see now. They're just aggressively hitting. Let's see if the bid is going to be pulled. Jeez, this is not even market on close data. Wow. It's interesting how they work in the book right now. Wow. Notice that the bid is just gone. Jesus. Okay, back down to this point where we think POC is going to end here. Let's see if we can continually break it. Wow. This is action packed here, guys. This is more like it. It's definitely much nicer to have this type of action to discuss it with everyone than when it's shit. You know what I mean? It's very good talking points. There's loads of action. Order flow is good. It's a good time to be alive and trading when this is happening, and just so it's really good to learn in this market behavior. Everyone. Okay, so 79s needs to break. We've seen tons of contracts absorbed it here, and let's see if they can do it. NQ is going. I mean, the bid is just not there anymore, is it? Seems to be right now that the market is moving by pulled orders. Right now, and you can see that, look, 48, 28, 16. Look at this, the market moved through that with 3 ticks. The top 500 stocks in the whole of US, and it moves through a contract. It moves through a price with 3 contracts. What is that about? I mean, seriously, when you think about that, that's just bananas. You know, shouldn't be happening. Yeah, exactly, Alex. That's the thing, dude. It's just really all they're doing. They're just distributing the book, working it, you know. And when you see clearly that one is absorbing tons, you know, they're now net short. Where do they need to go to get out? They get out, and then more than likely they then become net long, and then they do the same. But as right now, this is now a completely. We're basically getting that delta video. We're getting pretty much nearly everything on that slide, apart from the one-way train, in this order flow. You know, we've got orders been pulled now, which is what's happening. We have had the absorption side in there as well. So there's loads. Well, Pig, I suppose it is right, but it's still the top. It's still we're measuring the underlying, which is the top 500. Basically, my point of making that is the book should never be that fucking thin. It just shouldn't be. It shouldn't be moving through a price with 12 contracts in 2024. It's ridiculous. This book should be 400-500 deep. I mean, how can Eurostox 50, right? The Eurostox market be 400 deep, and ES isn't, for example. ES currently right now has got 76.81 on the bid, an offer. Ridiculous. Okay, we have market on close data coming out. 15 minutes, so grab your popcorn, get a snack. 5 seconds. Watch the spike coming in. Is it going to be initial spike to the upside to go to POC? Let's see what the traction is. Wow, it is. Okay, so keep your eye on Delta and watch how the DOM is handling. Let's clear this. This bid gets pulled, it's going to drop quite aggressively. POC is definitely going to turn into 80s, 79 three quarters. Basically every single price right now is an iceberg. Wow. There we go. There's going to be a lot of stops below here. If they hit this, I want to see them hit this and see if they can really drill this. This would be interesting. 15 minutes of complete capitulation. But they'll probably now drive it back up, to be honest. Not joking when I say this, literally every tick is an iceberg. It's ridiculous. Wow. Look at the amount of negative delta that's just come in as well. $6,000 delta. 6,000 negative contracts have just come in. So I would suspect here that they have really hit it down, and then notice the amount of basically every tick in the way down here has been an iceberg. Literally every one. So what is weird about this is there's not been enough distribution for them just to whip this back up, but we'll see. Eunice, yeah, exactly. In a couple of minutes, there's just been 5,000 delta yanked. I mean, look at this. It's another just 600 contracts in one tick. Again here. Not joking, man. Every tick. It's another. It's frustrating. Just it's frustrating how ES is these days. Like basically, they just have the limit orders. Basically, it's now flipped. The orders are broken down. They don't show their hand on the limit at all anymore. So you don't know if any of these orders are real. And then when they start hitting into them, they then automatically activate an iceberg into these orders. You don't do it as prominent as this, but like every ticket is. But look at the amount of delta that's coming in. Jesus. Wow. Fucking hell. This is an absolute bloodbath. This could just continually go here. Yep. Yep. Wow. That's fucking hell. What the fuck? Jesus, this is absolute carnage. Oh my god, I told you guys, we're in for an active session. I hope you got your popcorn and a beer out, Now they're probably going to dump it down here, but just the fact that order flow there, where they just dumped it aggressively, there wasn't enough distribution for them. So we'll see if they do write it back here to 80s for the new POC, which is going to be up here. That's where it's going to finish roughly here. But they could just continually bang this. Wow. Yeah, this is madness. This is a no-go. The order flow side of things, unless you just took the break there, but there was not enough absorption for them to do this. This is just fresh selling that's come in. I mean, this pocket here that's now developed, if 1,000's traded here, so I mean they could write it back up to 80s, to be honest, but we'll see. What a seller! How many ticks was that? Jesus, man, 56 ticks. Daniel, nice dude. I know, I think you need to wait until there's just too much selling aggression going on right now. And there's not been any, I mean, there has been absorption down here at 65 to 64.5, couple of thousand, but it's not enough, to be honest. And we're now into complete new territory on this new contract since rollover. This is the lowest it's been. So yeah, definitely don't take any more trades, Alex. Chillax. Enjoy your huge day. Market seems already moving, but let's see what can happen at the algo time in 2 minutes. Okay, so let's see if we can come back up here and reclaim and turn this into the new point of control here. Let's see if we can do that. Quite a bit of two-way here. Wow. Notice how they just pulled that there. Let's see. This is wild order flow at the moment. Wild. They're just these prices in here. They just seem to be pulling them. And notice they're absorbing here, and then they're absorbing here, then sweeping through here. They somehow to manage even holding a range in this. There we go. Back up to 80s. See if they can do it. 10 seconds. Well, it's already happening, to be honest. Nice trainer boy. Yeah, it'll be shit tons, Alex, shit tons of money. Okay, let's see if they can push back into 80s to turn that into the new POC, see if they've got the juice for it. They've pretty much got 3-4 minutes left to do it. Doesn't look very likely at the moment. Crazy action. So how much negative delta was that in one candle? 1800 to... Wow. Jesus man, it's about 10,000 negative delta that come in, and we're just now bidding it back up. So we're almost back up to parity before that, yet we're not before all that selling came in. So the volume is now dropped off. Yeah, crazy. That's how quickly this can move, though, especially when it was propped up though by the Mag 7. As soon as they showed weakness, either by profit taking and some earnings, it just dumps off. And what you'll probably find is the last sort of distribution that you have at the highs was these companies becoming net short. And actually, if you check the court report from last week, fund managers are always net long, just because they're buy side, but your large speculators, non-commercials such as Goldman, JP Morgan, so on, were actually net short on ES. And in my opinion, these guys always win. So they were net short aggressively on bonds and notes, and net short on ES. And look what's happened this week. Jeez, oh, it's crazy, Alex. We could definitely continue. This is the key thing. It's if you look at the fact that this year it's the Mag 7 stocks that have basically been driving this complete rally. 40% of the S&P has not had a good year. So if it wasn't for these Mag 7s, we actually would be having a shit year. So as soon as you see sell-offs in the big boys, this happens. And it was ultimately looking very bubble-like, wasn't it? You know, if you put that against the housing chart or the famous tulip bubble, it would look pretty similar. That's what they all say, pig. That's what they all say. Bubble is a bubble regardless of the market, just because it's the stock market. The trouble is, if you give that to people that are not into cryptocurrency, right, they would say that Bitcoin's a bubble. But you give them the exact same chart in the stock market and they just say it's having a good year. I don't know if it's the AI bubble or something. How? What makes you say that, pig? Yeah, it's good. It's good that Alex has started in the OrderFlow land, because majority of people, when they start, it takes them probably 5 years to find OrderFlow. To be honest. Nice, which is fantastic. That's the way to do it. To be honest, you're probably ahead of a lot of people that, you know, if you just look at this chart alone, you've got no idea what's happening in the market. It's like trading blindfolded. If you just look at a candlestick chart. And there's people that say, oh, just trade naked price charts, that's all you need and stuff, higher highs and higher lows and stuff, with absolutely no understanding of, you know, how the market mechanics work, what the book is doing, you know, where is the absorption or delta construed for the last 15 to 20 minutes, you know, because it constantly changes throughout the day, especially when you see things like this where there was 4,000 delta absorbed and then we cracked the lows again. Then they get out of their orders, net long, and then they go up, hit it above here. This was this order. Then they hit it above here. Then the market on close comes out, and then we probably end up back where we were. See if we can get back up to 80s. Looks like we're going to, and then make this the new point of control. Peg, what do you mean you're in the picture? Nicely done, Alex. It's the way to do it, dude. Right. Yeah, Peg, I get what you mean, dude. It's I don't know. It's typically when you start. This is the problem: is you completely new to trading. You normally type into YouTube or something, best trading strategy or something, and then you get whoever is the most popular influencer at the time shows you some random buy and sell indicator like moving average cross with a MACD and RSI, and when all three trigger, you press the long button and go to the beach. Typically. If only it was that simple, we'd all be in the Bahamas. Look, it's always the same, Pig. Just can't really look at it like that. Well, Alex, what I would definitely recommend you do, dude, is go into your R trader if you're trading with Rhythmic. I'm assuming you are, and put hard stops. Put hard stops in. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. I mean, there's a lot of big. I would say the majority of streamers on YouTube. I'm not going to name any names at all, but a lot of them have depth of markets and stuff up, and they don't discuss it. They don't discuss the concepts. I literally think they just have it up for show. Especially ones that only have an NQ one up as well. With no inside prints either. Now, if I was only trading NQ, I would need to know what volume was trading in the prints, but I don't, so I just use it for correlation. And I wanted to make these screens a little bit bigger for you to see. Not naming any names, Alex, but to be honest with you, I think realistically, if NQ comes to any sort of inflection point and you go long or short and only take 10 points or whatever he's taking, it's not very hard. I just find it all a bit strange. Anyway, I'm not going to go into depth about different streamers. People can do it and it works for them. Good luck. The only thing I can say is they make it look incredibly easy, and somehow seem to always make money off, from there. Trading is probably one of the hardest endeavors you'll ever do. And the reason being is there is truly no handbook. Everyone is literally trading on a best guess, an educated guess. And depending on your psychological makeup, you're potentially going to think that your best guess is extremely good and risk too much and do your arson. If you go onto Twitter and you go into some streams and stuff, they consistently do that. I mean, not only that, even if you do have these huge days, it's hard to get paid out with these firms as well. So just whatever, be careful, man. Yeah, Diary, to be honest, dude, I find the reason why I don't promote a specific strategy is what I've learned is been something I've been working on for many, many years, and it comes with experience and screen time. I don't have something like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't have something like, say for example, it comes up to a high volume node, okay? So it comes up to a high volume node and there's like a delta divergence, so I take short or something. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I do. It's not as clear cut as that. It's extremely discretionary. Things like that factor in. Is there any data coming out? What's the sentiment? What's the most probable way if we take in the previous day high or low? What's the stats when we close at the settlement price? There's tons and tons of stats you need to look into and know and work on your edge. And also, once you build up a decent enough sample, you need to know, do you make money in the PM session? Or do you make all your money in the AM session? It's not as simple as, when X and Y happens, then, because see if it was that simple, I would have hired a really, really good developer to code it, and I wouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Alex. Chillax, man, because I can almost see it now. You are on top of the world right now, dude, and congrats. But please, for the love of God, control your risks, man. Please, because you can. When you make it as quick as that, you can lose it even quicker, and you're going to feel like shit. So go into your RTrader or whatever routing you're using, and go and set hard limits for stops, so that if you lose that amount in a day, you cannot take any more trades. And also dial in your risk, because the last thing you want is to give it all back. You'll feel like shit. And I can tell you, man, you're having days like that or a week like that is incredible. So, just look after yourself with it. Eunice, it would be great. It would be great, dude, if I could hire someone to do that. But sadly, a lot of it is discretionary. You know, I mean, this is why the likes of, these top market making firms have the best dudes at computer science, the best math teams. They've got tons of teams that we're working on to put out these algorithms, and they'll be running them in lower environments before they put them into production. The amount of stats they'll be gathering for these trades is crazy. And also, to top it off, they'll be buying OrderFlow from some brokers as well. I know that happens for options, but it's probably happening as well on the other side. So they'll be paying for the order flow, and they know the orders are coming in literally a millisecond before, which is quick enough for them to basically reroute and change their orders, because they're next door to the exchange. They have servers on the exchange, so it's a completely different ball game. And then we are talking about, I see, Diary, that you're came from with FX in your name, so you must be trading CFDs and FX. Completely different world to futures, dude. CFDs and your cable, euro dollar, all the miners and exotic crosses and stuff. You've got commissions and spreads, as you know. It's pips, and in futures it's ticks. You have specific costs per tick per contract, depending if you're trading micros and minis, and it's meant to be a fairer game. You and I are on different sides of the world, yet we can see exactly what is on the bid and offer at the same time. Whereas if it's CFDs and I have one in the UK and you have one in, say, the US, we can't trade CFDs in the US, say one in Europe, you might be looking at different spreads, different commissions, and ultimately a different price, depending on who the liquidity provider is. And you're also never actually in the market as well. You're typically betting against your broker. So, futures is a lot more transparent, but then the deeper you get into the game, you realise that all these markets are not, I'm not going to use the word rigged, they are, it's a big game of theory, to be honest. Very much like poker. There's a lot of similarities in poker. Just because you can't see the people that's doing it, everyone is actively taking positions, and it's basically who the market goes to, where the positions are under pressure, effectively. Daniel, the trick is with it, dude, is the copy trading. So you have 10 or 20 accounts, you only execute at a master, and then it copies the other 20. I suppose it's a way to sort of scale the risk side of things. Will scale your upside. Oh, he does. I play a lot of poker, to be honest. I have in the past. I've played a lot of live and cash poker. It's very, very similar to trading. It's a lot of the same concepts. I would say one of the main differences is in poker to trading is in poker you actually have to pay to play, i.e. every hand you have to either post blinds or an ante to see cards, whereas in trading you do not. So in trading you literally get paid to wait for pocket aces. You can't do that in poker. You literally have to fold 7-2 off, as an example. But the theory is the same. Are you going to show your hand? Are you going to bluff? I'm not going to get into technicalities about it, but are you going to show your hand? Are you going to bluff? You're not going to literally give away your hand, are you? Same as trading. You're not just going to, if you've got thousands of contracts to execute, you're not just going to show them all at one price, are you? You'd flash them around and try not let the competition know what you're doing, so it would be really obvious. And now we're in 2024, where technology is so advanced, it allows them to look. I mean, look at this. There's 50 in each price now. The volume's gone, right? It's not far off it where they were like this for about 5 ticks deep, and then it was 100 bid, 100 bid, 100 bid, you know, so on and so forth all the way down. When we went back up to here and this broke down these levels, literally every single tick was an iceberg. So essentially what's happening is they're layering 100 at each price, and when the market gets there, they've actually got iceberg orders behind them, which is going to be something like, okay, gets this price if 100 trades, you know, continually reload until 500 is executed or something. Do you know what I mean? And then they can, if they want, stop that price. Because when the market is in rotation mode, it's not dumping like how it is. If they take that full 500, a lot of the time, when the market's rotational, there's not enough selling aggression to break through that, and the market will just rotate back into the middle of the range. Would you look at that? The 79 3/4 turned into POC. Crystal ball. Daniel, thanks buddy for joining. Much appreciated. Also guys, another thing I'm working on, I'm going to get like little stickers and emotes made for you all. I'm going to get some OrderFlow things made. I've got a graphic designer working on a few things. We're going to try and improve the brand. But we're going to put some cool stickers and stuff for anyone that becomes a member, so you guys can, I know, do the whole chat spam emote thing when cool things happen. Steve, how's it going? A couple of messages to catch up on here. Steve, thanks buddy. Hey dude, so I am not too far away from Glasgow. About 40 minutes from Glasgow, dude. Take it you guessed with the accent. Glad you find it glad you're finding it useful for you. Jay, how's it going, dude? Does order flow trading even utilize strategies, or are you assuming a moment by moment basis to try preempt a move? So it's a good question, mate. So very typically, say for example, right? It's a Tuesday. There's no data coming out, and it's in the PM session, right? So there's no catalyst left in the market for that day to really change the sentiment, and we have been in balance for that day, okay? Then the market is coming to the low of a range or the low of session, right? What is the most probable outcome that is going to happen? Well, I can tell you, the most probable outcome for that is it's going to sweep the low. Then you're going to look for a trade to then lift back into the offer and take it back into POC. So you're going to look to buy that. Now, another type of strategy would be this one as an example. I'm just picking them out. But say we break, we break down. You can see that there's a sort of distribution here. And before this happened, all this was not down here. So a general play you need to think to yourself is, okay, there's an imbalance here. The market then breaks down and then distributes. Okay. Now, there's only really two moves that the market can do from here, right? When we're here. So say you're rotating around here. The market can either extend the profile down, okay, and continue lower, or buyers gain control and then need to break the imbalance. So very typically, if that's what the idea is, and I'm looking to be a seller on today, I would be waiting for an imbalance to happen. The market then retests. I then see the offer staying strong, and then I look to go with the trend, as an example. But it all depends on the context of the day. What's the most probable to happen? What's the sentiment of the news? And is there any catalyst that can ultimately change the sentiment for the session? Because if you're absolutely dumping the whole session and you're looking to buy here, right? Or here, is there anyone else in the world, including large traders, that are going to change the sentiment of that session? Most likely not. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of it, this is why I don't really trade a strategy. I can't, because I can't with confidence sell a course and put a course out and say to people, right, when it gets to this box, because it would be a never ending list of things you need to do. Do you know? You need to do things like, you know, I check regularly, what's the Fed doing for the price cuts? You know, is that changing? How does that impact things? That affects stocks, it affects the dollar, you know, it affects treasuries, the markets that I trade as well. You know, that's another thing. Typically, if it's before, you know, a day before and 2 days before FOMC days or CPI days, the market typically has less volume and doesn't break out more, so you're going to have more mean reversions in those days. You know, it's not so clear cut. I wish it was, and I'm being completely honest with you here. You know, taking a breakout trade on a Monday afternoon with no data coming out is probably not going to work. Thanks, Daniel. Much appreciated, dude. Oh, your guy was from Aberdeen. Nice. Very nice. Leo, how's it going? So, Leo, I would definitely recommend, dude, that you get a good charting platform. I'm going to be pretty blunt. Tradeovate is a piece of shit for order flow. You need to get something like Jigsaw, Sierra, Bookmap, even MotiveWave, something like that, dude. You need to give yourself the best tools in order to use it, but don't, you know, doesn't need to cost you a fortune to do so. So, Leo, if you go through, there's a link in this description, dude. If you go on to it, it is there's an order flow series here. Learn how to execute order flow with this playlist. It's the third link in the description of this video. Let me just copy it and put it in for you, dude. Start with this. I've been working for the last number of months to basically put together an order flow pack that I can confidently say to people, you're new to order flow, here's your shit. Go and spend time reading that. Any questions you've got, comment in the videos and let me know what's happening. Right? I've covered the things in there about journaling, about delta, about different day types, absorptions, different concepts that happen in the market, who the competition is and what it takes to be profitable as a day trader. I've then covered live examples in the DOM, you know, and I also covered that in treasuries as well. We covered what sweeps are, what volume profile is, and how you execute it. You know, there's hours of content in there, to be honest. So hopefully you guys it's providing you some value, because it takes a while. It takes a while to put this stuff together, to be honest. No problem, Knockout. Thanks, buddy boy. Yeah, gee, there's tons to learn, man. Tons. So if any of you have not yet supported the channel, there's There's a couple of ways you can do so, via the YouTube side of things, or you can do it via the coffee that's pinned in the description if you want to show any extra support. But let me know if you've got any other questions, otherwise we'll probably look to call it if anyone's got any other questions, but let me know. No problem, Jay. Thanks very much, dude. Have a great evening. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. See what tomorrow brings. If it's as much carnage as today. You guys all take care. Have a great evening and we'll catch up tomorrow, okay? Peace, everyone.